Okay, in this segment, I think now I can show you the protective distance map. I'm not sure what happened. For whatever reason, WISER lost its inability to connect to the internet, even though the computer was connected. And so I had to uninstall it and then reinstall it, and now it's working. So I don't know. I did download a newer version because I have a notification button up here now that wasn't there before. So yeah, I don't know why. For whatever reason, it quit working. But again, we got chlorine here as our known chemical. And, down here in this menu, if you go all the way down, there's the protective distance map. And so we will click that. And then this is what comes up. Now, if you have a location, you can actually type the location in here. It likes, normal addresses separated by commas. So if you look at like Alaska West, I would say 1095 Sanduri, and then just put a comma to separate Fairbanks, and then another comma, and then Alaska. And if I hit enter, it will actually drill down and place the protective map distance on the address I punched in there. Of course, like most map programs, if you don't have an address, you can just keep drilling down into the map layers and find it that way. If you notice here too, it's got Latin long. So if you have a Latin long, you can put that in there. Or it's got a button that says use current location. So if your Wi-Fi will show you where you're at, you can click on that button and it should put your spill right where you're standing, which doesn't sound like a very good idea with chlorine, right? So the rest of these buttons, you guys, if you look at them, it's basically everything that's in the ERG green section. So we've got the spill size, large or small, and right now with large, you can see it's 6.2 miles for downwind protective actions. If I hit small, you can see it changed it to 0.2, right? The other thing too, which I'm not seeing here, I really don't like, oh, nope, sorry, that's just the, I gotta get back to my map now. There's a way you can change the map setting. I really don't like the street view. I really dig the like the topo view, but for some reason I can't figure out how to change that. I wonder if they got rid of that. Well, if you guys do figure it out, leave a comment, and then I'll know for sure how to do it. But we got larger, small spill here. We've also got day or night. So again, this is just pulling data out of the green section. So right now we've got 0.2 mile. If I hit night, it'll actually grow to 0.7 miles. So it's taking that data into perspective. If you keep scrolling down, oh, there's the map type right there. So I'm going to switch it to aerial because I really like the aerial view. It helps me a lot because we can determine building location and all that. If you keep scrolling down, well, on small spill, it won't do it. But on large spill, chlorine in the ERG, it will send you to table 3 of the green section. And that was a change in the 2016 ERG, or sorry, 2012, I believe. So it's been out there for a while. But that's the table that gives you different containers and it gives you different wind speeds. And so with chlorine, we get this menu, and there's 5 other chemicals that'll do this for. Ammonia is one, SO2 is one. I can't remember the other 3 because they're not really common to Alaska. But here I can select, the container type. So if I have a rail tank car, or if I hit the drop down, it's got highway, or it's got multiple ton cylinders, or multiple small cylinders, or a single ton cylinder. But either way, as you feed it those different containers, it's going to adjust your downwind protective action distance. and your isolation distance, depending on which container you select. And then as far as wind speed, the ERG actually gives you specific wind speeds in mile per hour. WISER's interface, they have low, moderate, or high. And off the top of my head, I can't remember the wind speeds for each of those. But if you can see if, oh, there it is. It comes up as a little pop-up when you mouse over it. So moderate would be 6 to 12 mile an hour. High would be greater than 12. And then obviously low would be less than 6 mile an hour. But as you can see when I change these, for low wind speed, we got a downwind protective of 1.8 miles. If I switch it to moderate, it's only 0.8 miles, and then it should even lessen with high as 2.4 miles. And, of course, the more wind we have, the greater dilution ratio we would have. Therefore, we would have a smaller downwind protective distance. Now, the one thing I skipped over, oops, sorry, zoomed in, I meant to scroll up. The one thing I did skip over is this compass. So right now, it really overlaid with the wind coming out of the northwest, but if the wind is coming out of the east or something like that, you just move this compass needle and it will actually move the downwind protective action in the direction you say the wind is coming from. So there's our easterly wind. The other thing I didn't go over is, let's say, so we put in an address. Now, of course, Alaska West is a very big yard. That address is representative of pretty much this whole yard. So what if, it was a rail car that was over here on the tracks and not the building, because the map picked up the building for the address? Well, you simply just grab this balloon and you can move and adjust where the spill is, based on the exact location. So I think this is pretty high speed, and I'll show you why. There's a tool in Windows that I use very frequently called Snipping Tool. Snipping Tool, I use it for everything. But for this example, if I take the Snipping Tool and actually snip this picture, come on, Snipping Tool, and what I can do then is I can actually copy this photo and lay it into a 201. So here I've got my ICS 201. Ours are either PDFs that we've converted or the root file is in Excel. But either way, if I paste this in there, well, now I'm not breaking out my Crayolas to do a map sketch. I actually have a picture, and picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So that's the protective action distance. I think it is a very powerful tool that can help us out. Obviously, the faster you can get this data into the computer and the faster you can get it out to your folks, the more value it will have. It is worth noting, too, that you can have WISER on your phone. I prefer it on my laptop, and I'd rather pack a laptop around with me for emergency response than a phone. Obviously, I don't pack my laptop, every minute of the day with me. But, for the Borough Hazmat team, we have these on our trucks. They're available there. And my work laptop, I have it on my work laptop all the time. So if I respond for Alaska West, or if a customer calls me out, I always have this available on laptop, because the function I just showed you doesn't work as well on a phone. I'm not smart enough to, cut a picture out. I guess I could try to take a screenshot and crop it down and try to get into a Excel file on my phone and email it. But again, that takes connectivity. This map takes connectivity too, but now that I have this information, I can take my laptop somewhere where I don't have connectivity and I still have that information available. So it's just that's just me. On our hazmat truck, we like looking at other things in WISER. So again, it's a heck of a lot easier to minimize windows and look at more than one thing on your laptop than it is the phone. So I'm not discounting the app at all, but If you're going to be a power user of WISER, I would definitely suggest getting it on your laptop.